Yes guys, what is up? Welcome to Supercars of London, down in the French Riviera, where we are not relaxing by the beach. We are up in the mountains with the hairpins. Seb in the McLaren Artura, arguably the ultimate everyday supercar, brand new and the entry level to the McLaren brand. And myself in a 14-year-old Audi R8 V10 that in its heyday was the benchmark for the everyday supercar. This gives us the perfect opportunity to compare a modern classic, and just to see how far the game has moved on, we're going to be comparing the two. Step on in. And actually, whilst we are relatively safe and the engine isn't running, let me rattle through some of the stats that I've found on the internet. Whether the sources are credible or not, what I'm saying is they're not from Wikipedia. But the R8, from new, 525 brake horsepower, 0 to 60, 3.5 seconds. It's quite quick.
Very quick.
14 years old. Top speed of 196 miles an hour.
Yep.
Which is pretty good.
Amazing.
But then this is where, when we jump in the McLaren, you'll see 0 to 200 kph takes 12 seconds in this car.
Okay.
It's 4 seconds quicker.
4 seconds
In the Artura.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. But do you know what's interesting? That car is so much bigger than this. In terms of physical size,
Really?
This is much smaller, but about 200 kilograms heavier.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, because they've used all sorts of new developments on that car. The whole rear clamshell is one piece.
But you can see, just based on what the interior of this looks like, we've got buttons everywhere, a tiny little screen. Do we have nav? Yeah. We've got navigation, don't worry, that's not my address, so.
No CarPlay.
Nope.
Can you do Bluetooth? Oh wow, look at that, yeah.
Yeah, you can do Bluetooth but make calls, that's it.
You can't listen to your music?
No, everyone knows that, Seb.
Oh.
It's all I've been talking about on this road trip. But we do have a naturally aspirated 5.2 litre V10. This sounds pretty good.
I mean, it's incomparable, having just driven here in the McLaren.
But it's so basic. It's literally a massive heavy lump that produces power, and Audi boasted about 4 things in the press release on this car. One of them, Quattro.
Okay.
So in the press release in 2009, they're like, Quattro.
Quattro was the new thing.
The V10 with the special Le Mans style fuel injection technology.
Yeah.
Then we also have the LEDs on the front headlights, that were also like another thing. And other than that, it was the aluminium lightweight body that kind of made this car stand out. But as we know, the engine was quite a lot of it, but also the general shape was so revolutionary for Audi to come in with a halo product that sat at the top of their company as the ultimate everyday supercar.
It did a lot of good for the brand, for the
Yeah.
image of the brand. It was an Iron Man.
Yeah, that definitely helped sell a lot of cars. As did my video here whilst I'm driving with the engine light on, which I'm sure has been picked up already by a few people. But fundamentally, it's a very heavy car to drive. It's incredibly engaging, but you always need to be doing something. Whether that's with your feet down here and dipping the clutch and changing gear here. The steering is incredibly heavy. Yes, it's direct, but it is absolutely nothing quite like what I'm sure you experience in the McLaren. And we have been driving these incredible roads all day today, had a load of fun, and I know you are barely breaking a sweat in that car, probably using less than 10% of the performance, whereas I'm there going, come on then, let's go, here we go. And every time I look in the rearview mirror, I'm looking and you're literally in my rearview mirror, not the car, you. That's how close you are to the rear bumper on me.
I was quite close.
There's all sorts of stuff going on in this car, and I love driving it. But when you consider what this car once represented, it is unbelievable value for money now. And actually, when this car came out in 2009, the V10 model, it was around £99,000 plus optional extras. But it's when you consider the inflation from 2009 up until 2023 that you get to realise, actually, 99 grand sounds quite cheap.
For what it is, yeah.
But it's actually not in 2023 money terms. Yeah, I'm instantly jealous. We all know that the McLaren interiors are lovely, but we've got a mini iPad because obviously you've got Apple CarPlay.
Yeah, I mean, Apple CarPlay does make your life so much easier.
Oh yeah, it's so good. We've obviously got doors that go up. We've got Bowers and Wilkins, which is a fantastic speaker system.
Then,
all of this Alcantara.
the main difference is the car's now started. Little things like I don't need to take the handbrake off. I just, as long as I'm strapped in and good to go. It's odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
No buttons compared to your interior.
No, but obviously this is a small part of the evolution. We've got a V6, twin turbo V6, paired with an electric motor that provides an E-mode, which again, in this day and age, isn't revolutionary, but when you compare to the noise that we were making on this stretch of road...
I mean, I can then...
There we go.
There we go.
Now we have the motor on. And let me get my stats back up. So, the Audi R8 in 2009 was £99,000. In today's money, due to inflation, that is £170,000. That's how much
170.
the value of money has gone up or down. I don't even know how inflation works.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. So actually, when you consider that the McLaren Artura is the entry-level McLaren, comes in at 189 plus optional extras, it doesn't seem that bad if you think that if this car came out 14 years ago, it would probably be 105, 110 grand.
And it's a McLaren.
Yeah. And it looks way more like a supercar, but look at him. One hand on the wheel. Oh my God, this is insanely fast. Oh,
it's quick, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was like 30% through or something.
Oh my, yeah.
It's the
round
fact-
this corner. Oh my God.
And the fact that this is the entry-level McLaren is terrifying.
Yeah. So 670 brake horsepower, combined power between the electric motor and also the engine. 0 to 60 is 3 seconds dead.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, 0 to 200 kph, and this is 8.3 seconds.
I mean, that's the ridiculous.
That is where the performance comes into its own with all of this new modern technology, the twin turbos, the hybrid system, everything is to just accentuate that acceleration over a longer distance. And it is it's terrifying. 8.3 seconds, 0 to 200 kph in a sub 200 grand entry level McLaren supercar. It just gets better and better. Move out the way. I want to film the cars. We have got the ultimate 3-car garage. We've got the daily. We've got the C-Class touring.
Very rare. Manual C-Class touring.
Yeah.
C220 diesel.
Going up in value just like the Audi.
Yeah, rocketing up.
Not sure we could say the same about the McLaren. We don't know where the prices are going to go.
No.
But I think it was interesting to go up to the mountains because you get to see where cars once were from a petrol heads enthusiast's perspective, and then where we currently are. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot of these on the road. There's not that many McLarens driving around Monaco at the moment, actually.
No. And I'm not sure if they started the delivery too much. You can see here the difference in size also.
Yeah. Well, it's the one thing that a lot of people point out almost straight away when they see the R8, because obviously I'm arriving, it's your new car, very cool.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
It's not very, it's really short.
Yeah.
It's decently wide, but it's very short. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you can see where the engineering, the aerodynamics, the technology has gone over the last 14 years or so, and they both provide completely different driving experiences too.
Yeah.
And I, at one point on the drive back, which we didn't film, was rather twisty, rather tight. I would have loved to have had a car that was so easy to steer and auto gearbox.
I think I was very lucky because I had the best of both worlds. I had the easy driving experience, but I could listen to your V10 because I was right
Yeah, I mean, you get the best of both worlds. The breadth of ability has probably done a 15x since 2009 in terms of how daily drivable that is, and how much fun it is on the road versus the McLaren Artura and almost any modern supercar.
For sure, you wouldn't think of it being that old of a car. If someone said an R8 V10, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's a pretty
yeah.
And then this has just put it into perspective of, actually it is fairly old now.
Yeah. So there we go. An interesting video. The McLaren goes back tomorrow. I wanted to bring you some content with that car, and because I wasn't insured on it to drive, it was the best that we could do in terms of an idea.
Yeah,
and hopefully it was an interesting.
Really interesting.
Like to see even the price of that and the way that inflation has gone and what that would mean in 2023. It's been a fascinating journey to do a little bit of research on that, and then to have the cars parked up, and the sun is shining, which for the first time on this trip,
you picked the worst days to come. At least you got one good day.
Yeah, and hopefully, fingers crossed, a few more before I have to jump in the R8 and head back north. But Seb, thank you very much.
Thank you, always a pleasure.
It was good fun, and we'll be saying goodbye to the McLaren tomorrow morning, which you probably won't be seeing, and then we're on to the next adventure. I'll see you soon, guys. Take care. Goodbye.